Ons eerste gas is hier om op hierdie maandag ons bietjie meer te motiveer, Dr. Garth Japhet. Ek hoop ek sê dit reg, hoofuitvoerende beampte van Heartlines. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning to you, Johan. And yes, you did say it right.
Ah, fantastic. And we're just going to chat. I mean, you've been going for years, people. We just want to intro you with Heartlines. Yeah, you know, it's feel-good storytelling, but just give us a background. What exactly, what's in your heart? How did it start? Heartlines and all the, I mean, you're in TV and it's just amazing. And even working with student campuses. Just a little bit of background about yourself.
Thanks, Johan. Yeah, so by training, I'm a doctor. I soon realized that actually clinical medicine, just seeing patients, I worked in Alexandra Township for 5 years, was not really the way that I wanted to improve health. I then started playing, you know, using radio, TV, and print through. I started something called Soul City and ran that for 17 years. That was using primetime TV drama, radio in 11 languages, lots of publications, to use story to deal with big health issues. And then I just felt, you know, this was the beginning and not the final chapter for me. And I felt very strongly that God was laying on my heart to use the skills that I'd been given around telling stories, using media, to answer the question, how then shall we live? I think, you know, in Africa, in fact, in the world, our churches do a great job of conversion. But often, you know, the question of then what and how do we then live day to day is still to be answered. So about 14 years ago, I started Heartlines. And the idea behind Heartlines was to inspire people with stories told through TV and print and radio that would connect the dots between what the life we would like to live and the life we actually do live. So inspirational stories.
And it's actually very close to home for us because we, as well, I think we feel we've got a bigger calling than just being on TV. You know, we're not TV stars. We've got a message. And even our day or every day starts with what's happening in the news, like this especially after weekends. It's murder and it's bad stories and it's robberies and accidents. And just to change that into hope, you know, for you as well, I mean, do you think... I mean, the impact you've seen, you know, how does it make you feel as a person that you know you're making a difference out there?
You know, obviously, because of the type of work we do, it's sometimes you don't get a real impression of the difference you make. But, you know, it's just that one story where somebody says, like, we produced this film Beyond the River, which then started this concept of what your story is, that when I understand your story, you become human to me. And you get stories of how people have taken the time to get to know somebody else's story and how it's made all the difference. Or they've sat down with their parent and for the first time ever, they've suddenly understood their dad or their mum or their grandma. But I also think that, you know, our work, we live in an instant society and we're very sort of comfortable with the fact that it's like building cathedrals. You know, you sometimes don't see what you're going to be produced, you know, the impact you might have on the next generation. And I do think we spend a lot of our time looking for short-term results. And yet change happens over time. And we can be the beginning of change, but we can also be the final piece.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think God works in strange ways. And we just know that this is what we've been called to do.
Sure. I want to chat after the 7 o'clock news about the importance of fathers, I think, and just what's the future holding for you, and just motivate people in the country. I think we feel a bit battered after this COVID, you know, as well. So just we'll chat now. Ons gesels vanoggend met Dr. Garth Japhet, hoofuitvoerende beampte van Heartlines. As jy net ingeskakel het, Soul City behoort jy al te ken, wat al jare op TV is. Heartlines was hierdie reeks gewees. Ongelooflike werk, wil mense motiveer om na die webblad toe te gaan, om te gaan kyk wat hulle alles doen. Welcome back, Dr. Garth.
Thanks, Johnny.
I just want to talk a bit about fathers. I think our country is in big trouble. We live in different worlds in terms of poverty and children being registered. I think it's over 60% got no father on their birth certificate. How important is that relationship, and where can we help and get involved?
Yeah, thanks, Shanae. We as Heartlines have been developing a research process, and now we're going to be producing a whole lot of things to help fathers. First of all, the reasons why fathers are not present is not, I often thought it was because guys were just not interested. But a lot of it is about money. A lot of guys just feel if they don't have money, then they can't be present. And a lot of fathers think that it's just about, that's my role, is to be a provider. And if I can't provide, then what sort of use am I? So one of the key things I think we're trying to do, which we will be, rolling out a program, is to encourage fathers to be present, even if you can't afford to be present. And also get mothers to acknowledge the fact that a man's role is more than just providing money. So that's one of the key things. The other thing is, because so many men grow up as, without a strong father role model, when they become fathers, they don't really have, good experiences to draw on. So another thing is to encourage men to support men, to, guys who perhaps have a better understanding of how to be a good father, to come alongside men who perhaps don't. So I think these two things. One is it's not about money. We did this massive research project which took over 18 months. And the cry from children is that we just want our dad to be around. We don't, if he can't afford to buy us things, that's not important for us.
And then the two legs, using media that you've been doing for years, but also one-on-one with the workshops and working with churches and universities. That balance, how important is it to get that balance between media and also the one-to-one outreach?
Yeah, I like to sort of use the same sort of concept as say, Star Wars or one of these, where in fact they use media, but in fact the money they make is really through merchandising, and the two feed off each other. So, for instance, we're going to be producing 6 films that deal with different aspects of what we're calling Fathers Matter. So that is the name of this new campaign, and each will look at a different aspect of, the obstacles and the things that can be done to enable men to be present. And then, the idea is that you can get inspired through story, and then the concept is then what? And the key intervention that we're going to be making is what we're calling Fathers Matter Connect groups, which is getting groups of men, first in churches, but also in other areas, to come together in small groups and to mentor and support each other. And we will provide sort of discussion starters, information. Our website is already up, but that is the first part of this. But I think that's, in answer to your question, it's not either or. It's the one inspiring, that's the sort of Star Wars, and then it's the merchandising, which is, okay, now what do we do? And that's going to be our Fathers Matter Connect groups, information for dads, how do I get resources, etc., etc.
Ek gaan dit in Afrikaans sê, dis die ewigheidswaarde, what you do. I think making an impact that's going to last for eternity. Thank you for what you guys been doing, and I'm going to really motivate people to go to the Heartlines website and just get involved. And I think if everyone tries, we can change this country. Thank you so much, Dr. Garth.
It's a pleasure.
Enjoy your
Thanks
week.
So much for your time, Janine.
Bye. Ja, kom ons kyk of ons beter kan wees. Al is dit so moeilik, partykeer wil mense nou nie, maar
dit is 'n goeie manier om 'n maandag op te begin. Dit verander so 'n bietjie persepsie en perspektief.
Verseker.